Hi there, K Plus users. This is Annalisa with Inside Real Estate, and I wanted to show you where you can find visual clues that can help you maybe formulate an icebreaker conversation follow-up with a particular contact. So we're going to start here on this dashboard view, which is the initial view you'll see when you log in to K Plus. Now, there's a couple of things you can look at here across the top, always. So anytime you have a new contact lands, it'll be a green rectangle up here, and it'll have the name, and then you can click on it to open up the contact, of course. And you're also going to see if someone has sent you a question, which will show as a gold or a yellow rectangle, or if they have sent you a showing request, which will always show up in red. And both of these will turn green when you complete the tasks, so when you close the task out. So if someone has sent you a question or a showing request, you just click into it from here. And the system will open up and say, okay, they're interested in this property. This is the name of the contact. This is how long they've been waiting for it to get an answer, and here's their question. So from here, you can either put in a reminder to yourself to check in on this. You can also write in your response here and submit it to close the task. And the neat thing here is if you want to open up and learn more about the contact or the listing itself, you can actually just right-click on these. That's what I always do as kind of a shortcut, because then I can have this question response form in front of me and the listing. So I can have both of these in front of me while I'm either calling or answering back or what have you. But it's super important as a user. I always close this out by clicking the submit button. And that's what's going to tell the system that this has been responded to. Now, it's the same idea with the showing. This is another visual. It just kind of shows you what they were asking about and when they'd like to go. And you have the ability to say it works fine, I need to reschedule, I need to cancel, write out your response, and click submit to close it out. Now you'll notice now that I have closed those out, they are no longer on my to-do list here across the top of my dashboard. I still have 2 calls to make, and I can either click here to do those, or I can go up here to the top right and complete those here. Now, another visual that might be coming in handy for you as your pipeline grows is you can look across these sections here. So if you have any new leads that have landed, you'll see them on that green tile across the top, as well as right here. You'll have recently active leads. It'll show people when they were active, how many properties they looked at in total since they became a contact. And if you look over here to the right, it shows you the last time they were online looking. You have your hottest leads. These are people that have triggered the most behavioral notifications from your website. So these are people that are pretty actively searching on the site, so you can always click on their name to open up that contact and then look at their activity and then give them a call. You also have the missed calls. Now this is a good visual if you have these mandated calls that you need to complete every day, but maybe you missed a couple, something happened and you just couldn't get to them and that call rolled by. Those are going to land here. So you have the ability to click in and do your due diligence and complete that action. You can also click here for new inbound texts and upcoming reminders. Now, another great place you can utilize is going to be this activity stream. It's your third option down on the left. This activity stream is something I liken to a pulse point of your dashboard. So like if you're a runner or you exercise, you take your pulse to kind of check your health. This is where you can check the health of your contacts. This shows you what everyone has been up to that's a contact in your database in the last 5 days. Now you'll see here that these are green on these requested a showing and asked a question, which means, I took care of these. If they were red or gold, that would mean I need to get in gear and get those knocked out and responded to. Any photo you see on this activity stream or an individual contacts activity tab indicates a listing that these folks have looked at. So any photo indicates they've looked at that listing. Any photo that is a rectangle shape, such as this one off Lander Street in Newburgh, and this one off Marion Court. These rectangulars means that the contact has either saved the listing or they have viewed it 5 times or more on your website. So that's a visual cue to you to say, okay, well, they're really interested in this property. I can, give them a call about that, and that could be a good icebreaker. Now, if you happen to see a listing that is outlined in purple, you'll see these little color codes up here at the top right. If you happen to see one that's outlined in purple instead of like this white outline, that's going to indicate this is a listing associated with your agency. So that's another visual clue for you. If you see one that's outlined in yellow or gold, that's going to indicate that property is either contingent or pending. Now this can come in really handy, so maybe we'll just pretend that this one's pending or contingent, and we see they've been looking at it and they saved it 2 days ago, but now it might be going under contract. Well, you can actually click on this, and it's going to open up the contact, and then just click on their activity tab, and then you can click on the property to learn more about it. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the property, and again, we're pretending this is a pending contingent. What you can do is you can give them a call or email them or contact them, text them, and you can say, hey, 53 Lander Street, it looks like it's going under contract. However, I just sent you some alternatives that are very similar. Now, you can use this information very easily on an individual listing here. You can just scroll down a little bit, and there's this tab for similar listings. So 675 State Route 17, 961 Oregon Trail, 271 Liberty. All of these are similar to 53 Lander. So you can take that opportunity to say, you know what, I just noticed it's under contract, but I'm sending you properties that are very similar. Please let me know, et cetera. Now, if you happen to get them in the car and you go out to go look at a property, you can also always click this nearby tab, right, before you go out, and have a few of these in your back pocket as alternatives to go look at, because all of these properties on nearby are within 2 miles of the property of which you're looking at right now. So you've got a couple of really neat options here. You can go into the similar and leverage different properties if one looks like it's under contract or going under contract. And if you're going out and about, you can pick up some nearby properties to have in your back pocket as a secondary or third try to look at a home. Now, going back to the activity stream, just to recap, if these are green, you've completed them. If they're gold or red, you have not, and you need to complete the task. Any photo here indicates a property that a contact has looked at, but a rectangular photo means they have more interest. If it's highlighted in yellow or purple, these little key codes at the top left will tell you purple means it's an agency listing associated to your agency. Yellow means it's a listing that's contingent or pending. Now, the next thing we're going to take a look at here is this top right-hand side. You see this little yield sign with the exclamation point in the middle. This is like your notifications tab. So this is really important to kind of keep an eye on as well, because this is where the system is telling you what behaviors have my contacts exhibited that K Plus tracks, and I should probably be apprised of these. So what's been popping since the last time I logged in? Now, when you see a little red dot here with a certain number inside of it, that will indicate there is new activity since the last time you logged in. So there isn't anything new since I last logged in, but you can always click on this to see what's going on. Now, the neat thing here is you can see like the system's like, okay, well, they requested to see a listing, they saved a listing, they requested more info, they revisited after downtime. That means they were gone 2 weeks or more. So these are all things that you can follow up on. You can call them and welcome them back. The system already sent them a welcome back, but it might be a nice touch just to see if they need to update alerts or something. With the saved listing reduced or saved a listing, so what will happen is when a contact saves a listing, of course, we will let you know that. And then when the system recognizes that the listing agent who is handling that listing did a price reduction, the system will immediately know, because your MLS lives in our dashboard, and will immediately let that contact know that price has been reduced. So you can be apprised of all of this information. Now, if you want to see an individual's notifications and what went out to them, I'm just going to go ahead and open up a contact here. So let's say you want to see all of the different notifications that went out to this person. If you scroll down on this overview tab, which is that first one on the left at the top, you scroll down and kind of look right about y'all. You'll see popular properties, save, talking and text points, and notifications. This notification tab here will show you all of the behaviorals that we have sent out. So this was they requested to go see a listing 12 minutes ago. They saved a listing and the MLS number 12 minutes ago. They requested more info. They've been back after downtime. So you can actually pull this menu down and see what's been triggered by the system, which is pretty nice. All right. Now, when you're looking at an individual contact and their activity tab, which we're going to go to over here across the top, of course, you can see everything they have looked at and asked for since they became a contact in your system. And here's a really good example of a pending or contingent. You can see here it's outlined in gold off this Union Avenue. So that's what you would see if a listing was pending or contingent. It would be outlined in gold. And then you could, of course, click on it, open it up, take a look at the similar properties and send out accordingly. Now, another thing you can look at that might be a good visual clue is on an actual contact on their overview tab. Now, some agents work this into their daily routine when a contact lands as a new lead on your dashboard as kind of like a checklist, and they build it into their smart campaign, or they just have it in their head like, okay, it's day 2, I need to do this on all of my new leads. So when you're looking down this left-hand side of the dashboard, you can actually scroll down into this additional info section, and you'll see this little uses mobile. Now, if there is an X here, that means that currently this contact is not using their mobile device to look at properties. So we want to give them our Millions Mapped app to encourage them to look at properties. And the cool thing about Millions Mapped is it actually holds all of your contact information as an agent in it. So it's just another extension of your branding and another way to give people access to contact you easily. They can also call, text, and email you directly from the app, which is pretty cool. Now, if you want to send them Millions Mapped, and you see, oh, they're not using mobile, okay, all you can do super quick is go to what would you like to do? Email or text Millions Mapped. And if they don't have a phone number attached to their profile, the text option will not be there. But you can see here, this is where you can go in and email or text Millions Mapped. And when you do this, the system is going to send them out your unique link as an agent to Millions Mapped to ensure they're connected to you on that application. So really, that is the highlight of the different items of which to take a look for on a daily basis. So on your dashboard, always make sure you're gleaning across the top here on anything new questions asked. Take a look at this new leads drop down. Recently active can be helpful, hottest leads, etc. Take a peek at your notifications and see if this might be good information to follow up on. Never hurts to have a nice courtesy call just to check in with folks. And then on this left-hand side, you've got your activity stream, which shows you everything everyone's been up to in the last 5 days. And keeping in mind that that rectangular photo is going to indicate a higher level of interest in a property. And on an individual contact, when we're looking at their activity stream, let me go jump into a contact here. Oh, and I see one more thing I need to show you too. And when you're looking at an individual contact, of course, you can check the uses mobile and you can send them Millions Mapped. You can also look at their activity tab and see everything that singular person has been up to since they became a lead in your system. Now, one last important aspect I want to share with you is making sure that your leads are actually looking at properties on your site. So when we look at any of the leads here on this left-hand side, I'm just going to pop into new lead. You have the ability to sort these columns. So I always click on the eyeball and simply call it given your leads the eyeball. So this eyeball indicates that this lead has looked at 18 properties since they became a lead on my system. Now, none of these have looked at a property as of yet. So if you see zeros here, one, make sure that you have listing alerts set up. And if you do have them set up, maybe the parameters are too tight, so you may need to make some adjustments here and there to make sure we're pulling data. And two, you got your listing alerts, and then also, make sure that you're reaching out to them and sending them potentially interesting information. So like if you're looking at someone's history, like if, say we look at this contact and we look at their activity, and we look at these and we're like, oh, hey, they're looking at a lot of reduced properties or short sales, et cetera. Maybe I should try to connect them with some information about the 203K loan that they could pair with lending opportunity and get them in touch with my lender. Maybe I need to give them some first-time home buyer information or NHF down payment assistance grant information, because I think statistics say that 70% of people don't know they can qualify for an NHF. So that's a big statistic, and I'm sure Canada has similar programs as well for down payment assistance grants, I would think. So I would encourage you to look into those and have them handy to send out to folks. So you can think of different aspects of contact as well. And then the last thing you can do is go into your leads, scroll down on this left-hand side, and click on the no alerts or no drips. And this will show you exactly who does not have alerts set up and who does not have a drip campaign connected. So that's going to wrap it up for right now. I hope this was a successful and information-filled session for you all. Please throw a heart or a like up on the video if you learned something new, and I hope you have a great weekend. Bye-bye.